But yeah, back to how it was, the transition. It was amazing. It felt like a dream come true. It felt like I was in the movie because I also grew up watching Hollywood movies and
That's
stuff.
right.
So I was happy as hell, and I realized what kind of an opportunity it is.
Yeah.
And I was just, I felt this immense pressure on me, which I obviously put on myself. But I was like, there's no way in hell I'm not gonna make it work. There's no way in hell, I'm gonna get kicked out and I'm not gonna perform well in swimming.
Yeah.
And thankfully my perseverance and my focus and me not quitting and just again showing up day by day and giving it my best effort, it paid off. And I graduated college. I was a Pennsylvania champ 4 years in a row.
That's what's up.
I was an NCAA All-American. I was ranked sixth in the nation.
Wow. And see, this is stuff we don't know based off the social media, right? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know this
people
part of the
know
story.
me as this boxer guy or whatever, but
Yeah.
swimming was a huge part of my story, and I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for swimming.
Yeah. Not only was it a big part of your story, it was almost a key for you, right? Like
Yeah.
looking back on it, I imagine, we just talked about those things that our parents do that
Yeah.
kind of ended up being
Yeah.
that little bit of a key. And like, even though we didn't like the sport,
Yeah.
at some point they come back to help
No,
us out.
Yeah, this is why I'm grateful,
Yeah.
for everything. Although, like I mentioned earlier, swimming was never my favorite sport that I was drawn to, but I'm grateful that
Yeah.
everything that worked out the way it is, because I probably wouldn't come to the United States.
Right.
It probably wouldn't work out this way. I probably wouldn't meet my wife.
Yeah.
So if I had a chance to change anything in my past, I wouldn't. No
That's
way.
right. That's right. You appreciate that part of your journey.
Totally.
So it's a successful, basically sounds like a really successful college career.
Mm.
And I have to say, just to add kind of my perspective in this, it's so interesting to talk to you about that transition from Ukraine, right? I'm born in America.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until I went home to where my mother's from. She's from the Philippines. I was just talking to Jesse about this.
Mm.
And when I went, man, I really had such a different perspective of the world. And I've never been to Ukraine, so I can't speak on Ukraine. But in the Philippines, for example, it's just such a different like living. They aspire to much different things than we do here in America, and it really kind of leveled me out. And I've been twice, and every time I've come back, I've always just had this different perspective on what you call the opportunity that America does have. Right? There's so many like opportunities here, and I think sometimes because I'm from here, I don't value that in the way that somebody who has to move here does. Right? And I see my friends. I have friends who moved in from Australia and all types of stuff. And they just approach this place much different than us who live here. You know what I mean? So I can imagine that had a big like effect on your drive and your purpose moving forward. So
Yeah, man, totally. But see, you do appreciate it because you can relate. Your mom is from Philippines. You have friends who, you get that perspective and you understand it. You comprehend it, and you're like, man, like, we probably don't appreciate this as much, as we should.